Hey guys, we're live on the moon, and it's a slither, but you'll see there's more to it. Uh, I've been anxiously waiting the new moon to go away and a more bright moon to surface, and my window of opportunity is so short tonight, I scrambled to get my equipment out. Uh, in the early days of the month, I can't see very much of the moon from where I'm at on this porch. But like right now, I probably have 30 or 40 minutes, I'm not sure, maybe less. And I decided I'm going to go up there and I'm going to do a survey of the moon come hell or high water. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And to make sure I get it all in, I'm going to do a outer circumference first. I hope you all have been doing pretty good. You'll see it's wavy and it's not up high in the air, and that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're trying to sneak a shot of the moon. Uh, I do have, let me try to focus it a little bit better. It's not just, see, you can see it's very marginal, and that's as good as we can get right now. As it goes higher in the air and we lose less atmospherics, and the moon would become much clearer. You can see the the definitive line of color along the edge. I don't think I'm adding any color to it. I think that this is a natural color and it's just atmospherics. I have been working with the controls. Well, tell you what, let's go down the shadow line because that'll be more interesting, and see what we can see. I've been anxious to get out every night as much as I can because I realize that the moon reveals her secrets differently every night, and in particular along the shadow line. Let me brighten that up a bit. A little bit too much. Okay. And you can see some features of craters and some features of kind of mountainous areas. I hope I haven't been on for a little while, a couple days. It's just the way it is. Um, the moon has been dark, and I have been dark as well. I did do a deal on there you got a moon base right there, or what I call a moon base. It's probably just a stack of rocks, but I just never for the life of me can figure why they have a stack of rocks right in the middle of a perfectly good crater. And this does look kind of strange. The I've indicated before to you guys that I think that these are crystal lakes. Let me see if I can change the exposure on this. Let me work this a little bit. And I'll change the contrast up just a dab, brightness up. That's a little bit better. You can see more definition there. A little more contrast maybe. Um, Work the gamma. If I get the gamma too much, it plays with the colors, but and now let me turn the exposure down just a dab. I think that's as good as we can get, and let's just see if I can do anything with the focus on this. See, I'm slightly out of focus. I think that's about as good as we can do. You can see it goes in and out of focus because it's the atmospherics. As the moon gets higher in the sky, it becomes more stable and the image is more in focus more of the time. Because I'm early in the month and I only have a window of opportunity of about an hour or less now, quite less. I showed you that one night a picture of my telescope pointing to the moon with the edge of the house. Well, that's the situation we're in right now. Before you know it, the moon will move to the right and go behind the eaves of my house. So let's continue our survey and see that we can get it in. I did get that focus control and showed you in the last video, and I installed the motor on it today. So I do have it on there, and the way I worked it, I basically did as good a focus as I can with the one that I had before, and then I put this one on and I just did a fine focus, and you saw it does make a difference, and it does give me more fine control. But a focus controller is not going to work miracles on a moon that's not working for you. Now look at that. That's kind of weird too. That's a strain. Let me change the camera control down a little bit. Exposure. You've probably seen from my videos that some of them look better than others, and quite frankly, it depends on the moon, on how clear it is in our atmosphere, and a lot of different things. But even so, I would think that this to you should be absolutely high adventure. You're looking, it's just like you're sitting in front of my observatory here. We're looking at the screen and controlling the moon and looking at it, but you're looking on a high definition television. Now, if that isn't the wonder of wonder and miracle of miracles, I don't know what is. I think it's absolutely incredible. Okay, let's go down to the, I always think it's fun to go down to the slither. I call it a slither. On a night like tonight where you don't have very much of a moon, and when you don't have as much moon and it's a darker moon, it's harder to see the details. I'm telling you that right now from experience. And there is our slither. Let's see if we can get it back up before we lose it. Controller's funny sometimes. Sometimes with a little luck you see some strange details around these edges. You can just see how it's going in and out of focus. I guarantee you one thing, if I go look at the moon and there's something strange up there, I'm going to bring it to your attention. I'm going to work the focus again just one more time. I do have more precise control over the focus, but you can see I can't make a miracle out of something that's, the moon is just too much of a. Well, let's go around the outer circumference now and see if we can see something. unique. What I'm anxious to do, guys, is try, let me adjust the contrast, or that's better. I get it too dark, then you can't see very much, but I get it right in the middle and you can see more detail in around the edges here. What I'm anxious to do, I got that PowerMate TeleView 2.5x Barlow in, which should give me about as clear a picture with the Barlow as I could ever get. And I am anxious to see what that will look like as the moon gets higher in the sky, and I have a, there's the ferret, guys, right there. See him? At least that's what he looks like. That's what he probably is. Looks like in this, with the two eyes, the beady eyes, and looks to me like he's got a mustache, or that's his mouth. I never saw it quite from that perspective. And we were looking at the details of his mouth a little bit ago and didn't even realize we were looking at the ferret. Generally speaking, in the early days of the month, when the moon is just out of a new moon, I don't have that much control at all over the moon because it's only up in the air for a very short window. In that short window, then it jumps down. See, the sun sets followed by the moon. As the month progresses and the moon is up in the sky longer, this is probably the worst time to look at the moon in the whole month for just about anybody. I didn't even think I would have a moon tonight. I wasn't even ready for it. And so I scrambled to get my gear out when I saw it up in the sky. And fortunately, the temperature was okay, and I didn't have a dew problem or anything. But see, as time goes on into the month and the moon's up in the sky for a longer period of time, and I can let it get high as I possibly can, and to get the clearest image. And that's what I do. I wait into the night. Old Bill stays up all night for you guys so that you can see a clear picture of the moon, but I have no control over this. See, right now it's around 8:15 in the evening. Now let's just, this is a beautiful picture if I could get a decent image on it, but let me bring up the, see, it's just out of focus for us, guys. We just don't have the, just what you're fighting. If you bought it yourself a new telescope and you went out and set it up on your back lot and looked at the moon right now, this is exactly what you'd see. You say, well, why is it out of focus like that? Well, because the moon is young in the month and it hasn't had a chance to get high, and what you're looking at are the atmospheric disturbances. There's in the air, there's just different types of atmospherics, and to the extreme where you have clouds, and then to the other extreme where you have just high humidity and a variation in between, and then you have the the hot-cold situation where the land mass is hot and the air is cold, and then the turbulence. And quite frankly, that's what we have here right now. I live outside of Houston, a little place called Richmond. And let's just go up and to the right here and change. See that right there? That means that the contrast Just drop the exposure down a little bit. And because we kind of had a cold front come through and it was raining the last 2 days pretty bad, what you see right here is the results on the moon because it's just harder to see. And you say, well, Bill, get it in focus. Well, I'll show you what I mean. I'll try to get it in focus. It just won't get in focus. See, it's clearly out of focus. And so you rolled through focus and now you're out of focus again. So you just, and I have the fine focus on, you're just dealing with a moon that is has got some atmospheric issues. And that's probably as good as I can get. But if you stick with me and are kind of tuned up for high adventure, maybe I'll find another city up there. I actually think I did find a city, two cities on the moon within the last couple weeks in my surveys. And I also discovered what I consider flying saucers on the moon. And I really, truly believe that that's exactly what they are. And I believe that these fallen angels, they've got bases up there. And that's what we're seeing. Bases on the moon. Not only that, but I think that we got Americans up there on the moon. Probably Russians too. I think it's a grandest secret that has been kept from society. And there's our ferret. And I think it's all going to come to light here in the next 12 months. It looks like a ferret with a mouth, or a ferret with a mustache. And you can see when I get the contrast too high, just and if I try to work the picture, when I couldn't get the moon, I was watching some of my old moon videos on the TV. I have a MacBook. If you have a MacBook, you can plug HDMI cable into the MacBook and then plug it right into your TV set, and you can see this image right here, this whole image up on a high definition TV set. Now I tell you, you haven't watched the moon until you've seen it in high definition on a TV, and that's how I watch all my videos. I watch them in high definition. In high definition. Let me turn up the exposure. See, it's just a lousy moon, guys. Matter of fact, I think we're losing the moon behind the house. I'm going to cut this off. Okay, well that's it. We'll kind of camp on the ferret. Wish it could have been better, but as I indicated to you before, I'm vowing to do a survey of the moon come hell or high water to give you the best view as is possible. And because this is an early moon, early in the evening, it's not as clear as it could be. But I will persevere, and later on in our sessions it'll get super clear, and I'm going to try that Barlow out, that really expensive Barlow, and see if I can see details in those cities on the moon. So stick with me. It's going to be a blast. In the meantime, clear skies, guys.